Hello students, welcome to your WebSeek.Academy English channel. Today, we will discuss the poem The Solitary Reaper, which is a part of the first semester BSc English syllabus. This beautiful and lyrical poem is written by William Wordsworth, one of the most famous romantic poets in English literature. A note on the poet. William Wordsworth, 1770–1850, was a poet laureate of the United Kingdom and remains an important figure in English literature. Lyrical Ballads, 1798, a book of poems that he co-authored with St. Coleridge, helped launch the Romantic age in English literature. Wordsworth laid stress on the importance of nature and the simple life, and felt that poetry should be written in the language of ordinary people. Some of his major works are the Prelude, lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey, Daffodils, and The World is Too Much with Us. The Solitary Reaper Summary. Introduction. The Solitary Reaper is a romantic poem that captures a moment of natural beauty and emotional depth. It was inspired by Wordsworth's trip to Scotland. The poem shows how a simple scene, a girl singing in a field, can leave a powerful, lasting impact on a sensitive mind. First stanza. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here, or gently pass. Alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen! For the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. The poet asks the reader to look at a young Highland girl working alone in a field. She is harvesting the crops and singing a sad song as she works. The poet tells passers-by to either stop and listen quietly or move gently without disturbing her. The girl's song is so powerful and sweet that it fills the entire valley with her melody. Second stanza. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travelers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands. A voice so thrilling near was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas. Among the farthest Hebrides, the poet compares the girl's voice to the sweetest sounds in nature. He says that even the nightingale, whose song is a comfort to tired travelers resting in the Arabian desert, is not as welcome as the reaper's song. He also mentions the cuckoo bird, whose voice in the distant Hebrides island signals the arrival of spring, but says that even the cuckoo's song is less thrilling than the girl's. Third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far-off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again? The poet wonders what the girl's song is about. Since he cannot understand the language, he imagines that it might be a sad song about historical events, like old battles and faraway sorrows. Or it could be about simple, everyday sadness about sorrow, loss, or pain that is common in human life and repeats itself through time. Fourth stanza. Waiter the theme, the maiden sang, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work, and o'er the sickle bending. I listened, motionless and still. And, as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. The poet says that no matter what the theme of the song was, the girl's singing left a deep impression on him. She sang so beautifully that it seemed endless. The poet stood still, completely absorbed in the music. even after he left the field and could no longer hear her. The memory of her song stayed with him, filling his heart and becoming a part of him forever. Main themes in the poem. 1. Beauty in simplicity. The simple act of singing while working becomes something beautiful and unforgettable. 2. Power of music. Music can touch emotions deeply, even if the words are not understood. 3. Nature and human connection. Nature and human emotions are deeply intertwined in romantic poetry. 4. Memory and imagination. Sometimes, experiences are more powerful in memory than in reality. Conclusion. Wordsworth's The Solitary Reaper reminds us that even ordinary moments, if truly felt, can become extraordinary. It shows how beauty, even in the simplest forms, can leave a permanent mark on the human soul. Short answer questions. 1. Who was the Solitary Reaper? Answer. The Solitary Reaper was a young Highland girl who was working alone in a field, harvesting crops while singing a sorrowful song. 2. Identify the word that best describes the reaper's song. Answer. The word that best describes the reaper's song is melancholy, meaning sad and touching. 3. The poet compares the reaper's song to which two birds? Answer. The poet compares the reaper's song to the song of the nightingale and the cuckoo bird. 4. What was the singer doing while singing? A. Sitting alone in a field. B. Cutting grass. C. Harvesting crops. D. Weaving baskets. Answer. C. Harvesting crops. 5. Which of the following is true? A. The poet stopped to listen to the song for a while before resuming his walk. B. The poet listened till the end of the song before resuming his walk. C. The poet slowed down and listened to the song as he continued walking. D. None of the above. Answer. A. The poet stopped to listen to the song for a while before resuming his walk. 6. The poet describes the vale as with the reaper's song. Answer. The poet describes the vale as overflowing with the reaper's song. Answer each of the following questions in about one page. 1. Narrate how the poet spots the solitary reaper. What is his impression of the reaper? Answer. The poet, William Wordsworth, while walking through the Scottish Highlands, spots a young girl working alone in a field. She is harvesting crops and singing a sad song. Her loneliness and dedication catch the poet's attention immediately. He is deeply moved by the beauty of her voice and the sorrowful tone of her song. Wordsworth feels that her music is so powerful that it fills the entire valley. He is so enchanted that he urges others either to stop and listen or to pass by quietly so as not to disturb her. The sight and sound leave a lasting impression on him. 2. Describe the solitary reaper and her surroundings. Answer. The solitary reaper is a young Highland girl working alone in a field, reaping and binding the crops. She sings a melancholic song as she works. The surroundings are peaceful and beautiful, an open field in the Scottish Highlands with a deep valley, vale, around. The atmosphere is filled with the sound of her voice, making the valley seem alive. There is no one else with her, and her song echoes through the hills, creating a mood of serene sadness and deep emotional beauty. 3. What do you think the poet's thoughts would be when he remembers the song years later? Answer. When the poet remembers the song years later, he would likely feel a sense of peace and wonder. The beauty and sadness of the solitary reaper's song would stay fresh in his heart, offering him comfort and joy even in distant memories. The music, though no longer physically heard, would continue to inspire and soothe him. It would remind him of the deep emotions tied to simple, everyday moments and the everlasting power of art and nature. 4. Comment on the following lines with reference to the poem. A. Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again. Answer. These lines show the poet's guess about the theme of the reaper's song. Since he cannot understand the language, he imagines that she might be singing about universal human emotions such as sorrow, loss, or pain, feelings that occur naturally in everyone's life and repeat through time. It suggests that her song reflects deep human experiences that are timeless. B. The music in my heart I bore, long after it was heard no more. Answer. These lines express how deeply the reaper's song affected the poet. Even after he could no longer physically hear the song, its memory stayed alive in his heart. The song became a permanent source of joy and inspiration for him, showing the lasting impact of beautiful experiences on the human soul. C. Stop here, or gently pause. Answer. In this line, the poet addresses passers-by, telling them either to stop and listen quietly to the girl's beautiful singing or to move away softly without disturbing her. It shows the poet's deep respect for the purity of the moment and his desire to protect the beauty and solitude of the reaper's singing. 5. What, according to the poet, was the reaper's song about? Answer. According to the poet, the reaper's song could have been about old, sad events, battles fought long ago, or it might have been about more ordinary sorrows and pains of daily life. Even though he could not understand the exact words, he felt that the song conveyed deep emotions of sadness, loss, and longing that touched him deeply. Answer each of the following questions in about 2 pages. 1. How is the song of the reaper described by the poet? Answer. The poet, William Wordsworth, describes the song of the reaper in vivid, emotionally charged terms. From the very beginning of the poem, the reaper's song is portrayed as enchanting and deeply moving. The poet compares the song to the sounds of nature, to the nightingale and cuckoo-bird, saying that even the most beautiful bird songs do not match the depth and emotion of the reaper's melody. The song is referred to as melancholy, indicating that it has a sad or sorrowful tone. Wordsworth immediately recognizes the emotional power of the song, despite not understanding the language in which it is sung. He imagines that the song could be about old, unhappy, far-off things, or perhaps battles long ago, suggesting that it conveys themes of sadness and loss. The song is both timeless and universal, as the poet feels that it could be about sorrow and pain that anyone could relate to, across time and place. Wordsworth describes the effect the song has on the valley, noting that it overflows the vale. This gives the impression that the music fills the entire landscape, creating a profound connection between the girl's song and the natural surroundings. The poet even says that the reaper's voice is thrilling, a quality that makes the song unforgettable. He imagines that her song could go on forever, reflecting both its beauty and its emotional weight. By comparing the reaper's song to the songs of birds, Wordsworth highlights its natural beauty and emotional intensity. The song, though simple, is powerful enough to stir deep feelings and stir the imagination. 2. Discuss the impact of the reaper's song on the poet's thoughts and feelings. Answer. The reaper's song has a profound impact on the poet's thoughts and emotions. Initially, Wordsworth is struck by the beauty and melancholy of the song. The song's deep emotional tone touches him in a way that no other sound has. He is enchanted by its sweetness, but it is the emotional resonance that lingers with him long after he has moved on. While he listens to the song, the poet experiences a powerful connection to the reaper. Even though he cannot understand the language, he senses the sorrow, loss, or pain conveyed in the music. His imagination begins to roam as he tries to interpret the meaning of the song. He considers that it could be about ancient battles or distant sorrow. He wonders whether it reflects a personal pain that the reaper feels, or if it is just the kind of sorrow that everyone experiences at some point in their lives. The impact of the song on the poet is long-lasting. As the poet walks away from the scene and continues his journey, the song stays with him. In fact, the memory of the song remains in his heart and continues to live on in his thoughts. Even when the physical sound is no longer there, the emotional resonance of the song is carried in his heart. The poet's feelings about the song reflect the romantic belief that beauty, art, and nature can deeply affect the human spirit. This impact is enduring and far-reaching. He is deeply moved by the experience and carries its memory with him as something that shapes his view of life and beauty. The poet's thoughts reflect a sense of awe at the power of the song. He sees it as a reminder of the emotional depth that simple, everyday moments can carry. The Reaper's song is not just a beautiful melody, it is a representation of human emotions that transcend time and place. It highlights the poet's sensitivity to nature and his belief in the importance of art as a force for emotional connection. 3. The beauty of the countryside is an important aspect of this poem. How is this beauty captured in the poem? Answer. The beauty of the countryside is a central theme in The Solitary Reaper, and it is captured by Wordsworth through vivid descriptions of the landscape, the atmosphere, and the reaper's song. The countryside is not just a backdrop for the poem but an integral part of the experience that the poet describes. It contributes to the emotional depth of the scene and adds to the profound connection between the natural world and human feelings. The poet first introduces the countryside by describing the solitary reaper in the field. The use of the word solitary emphasizes the peaceful and quiet nature of the rural setting. The reaper works alone, yet a song fills the entire valley, giving the countryside an almost magical quality. The song is so powerful that it seems to resonate through the entire valley, filling the air with music. The valley becomes a symbol of the emotional richness of the natural world, where even solitude can evoke deep feelings of connection and beauty. Wordsworth contrasts the countryside with the busy, noisy world. He describes the Arabian sands and the seas as distant settings where the voices of nightingales and cuckoos are traditionally heard. By doing so, he elevates the rural setting in the poem, suggesting that the reaper's song is even more moving and beautiful than the sounds heard in far-off, exotic locations. The poet also emphasizes the peacefulness of the countryside. The reaper sings alone, creating an image of tranquil, undisturbed nature. This solitude adds a sense of purity to the scene, as the reaper is depicted as connected to nature through her work and song. The countryside becomes a place where the natural world and human emotions are deeply intertwined. The beauty of the countryside is also conveyed through the imagery of the poet's memory. As he moves away from the reaper, the landscape remains in his mind, and the song continues to echo in his heart. This suggests that the emotional beauty of the countryside, especially through the reaper's song, is something that stays with the poet, much like the natural world's ability to leave a lasting impression on a sensitive soul. In conclusion, Wordsworth captures the beauty of the countryside not just through its physical descriptions, but through its emotional resonance. The landscape is not merely a setting, it is a living part of the poem that enhances the emotional impact of the reaper's song. The rural setting, with its peace and solitude, becomes a symbol of the deeper connections between nature and human experience. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to WebSeek Academy for more English lessons and notes. See you in the next video. Until then, keep knowing and keep growing.